This video focuses on setting up your QuickBooks Online company settings. I'm in a client QuickBooks Online file. As you can see, I have the QB Accountant in the upper left, meaning I'm in this file from QuickBooks Online Accountant. And I'm going to go to the gear icon on the far right at the top there. Then go to Settings, Company Settings. Company, Sales, Expenses, Payments, and Advanced. Right? And some of the accounting preferences are actually in Advanced. But let's go tab to tab. So in Company, you click the little pencil, and here's where you can put in the company name and the legal name, as well as the logo. Now remember, when you're customizing your sales forms, you can have a different logo per sales form template for an invoice, sales receipt, or estimate. But this would just be kind of the main company logo, if you will. You also see it in the upper left top of the homepage. Then the contact information, accounting method, accrual or cash. Again, this is only how reports open to. It's about it, but this is where you'd want to change it. The EIN, the tax form, just click on the pencil. It's real easy. I'm going to leave this as actually an 1120S. Real popular now here. Categories is a great one. This is not accounts or items. This is for classes or locations. If you've ever used QuickBooks Desktop, you'll know what I mean by class tracking. But let's go ahead and click the pencil icon here. So classes, this is if you want to differentiate a P&L by profit center or something like that. You can add a class field on forms to assign transactions to different segments. And you can have classes be to the entire transaction, though typically the best practice is to one to each row in a transaction. And I will have a deeper dive on class and location tracking on the QuickBooks University site, so look for that. And you can track locations, and locations would be the summary of the form. So all of the expense, all the bill, all the invoice would go to a particular location. So stores, sales regions, counties, things like that. And then you just go ahead and click Save. And then the customer label. What do you actually call customers? So in QuickBooks Online, you have the ability to call customers clients or donors. Let's say you're a nonprofit. Guest members, right? Target calls me as a guest. That's how you can choose what your customer label is. And then finally, multi-currency. You can turn this on in the file as well. You just go ahead and check it off. You can't turn it off, so make sure that you really want it. And then if you need some help deciding about multi-currency, click on this. I'm going to have a video solely focused on multi-currency in QuickBooks University as well, but this is where you turn that on. Now, sales preferences. If you want to customize your look and feel of the invoice, sales receipt, or estimate, or even import, at least at this time, a template for an invoice, look for my video on the QBU, QuickBooks University for that, how to customize sales forms. Your sales form content. Go ahead and click the edit icon here. What's the preferred terms? Do you want a shipping field? Your custom fields, you're allowed 3. And that would be the top portion of the invoice. Custom transaction numbers. Lets you use your own numbering system. If left blank, invoice numbers are automatically assigned by QuickBooks. You can do this on purchase orders and as well, but you would check that off if you want to have your own numbering system. Do you want a service date on there in the target area of the form? And you want to put a discount or deposit field on there as well. Products and services. This is an important one. Obviously, you can choose to show product and service column on sales forms. This is typically turned on by default. If you want to track the quantity and price rate columns, you would turn that on. And then, of course, you have the ability in QuickBooks Online Plus to track quantity on hand. And this turns on the light inventory feature that we have that, at least as of this video, is first in, first out. We are enhancing inventory a lot. So I will be doing a subsequent video on that when it rolls into QuickBooks Online Plus. What kind of message do you want in the form? Online delivery, this is a good one to point out. The ability to have online invoicing. So when a customer receives the invoice, they can go online to pay it. And it works great in tandem with QuickBooks Payments that we'll go over in a second. And finally, do you want to have statements? You turn those on as well. Now for expenses, there's less preferences or settings, but do you want to show the items table on the expense or purchase form, track expenses and items by customer? This would allow me to pass through time, material, and expense to an invoice. This is only for QBO Plus. Do you want to make expenses and items billable? Also only in QuickBooks Online Plus. And then what are your default payment terms? And then do you want to turn on purchase orders? Again, you have to have QBO Plus for that, and then you have 3 custom fields on your purchase orders. And then we talked about QuickBooks Payments. Get paid more ways fast. Take credit cards or bank transfers, accept payments through QuickBooks, emailed invoices, and mobile. And QuickBooks automatically updates when you're paid. So you can click Learn More. If you already have an existing account coming over from QuickBooks Desktop or outside of QuickBooks, you can connect it here. And finally, advanced preferences. So again, more on accounting, the first month of the fiscal year, first month of the income tax year. If you want a closing date password, right? So this is behaves just like desktop. You put a closing date and then you could allow changes after view of warning entering password. Okay, very similar. Let's go ahead and cancel that from now. The chart of accounts. Do you want to enable account numbers? Be able to mark up. Automation, very important. Do you want to have QBO automatically apply credits to open invoices? It'll apply to the next invoice created. Or in the same on the vendor side, vendor credits to actually bills. So I mean, know your client. What automation can they handle? And what I love is the automatically invoice unbilled activity. I mean, literally, QuickBooks Online will create invoices for any unbilled activity that's assigned to a customer. Works the best, obviously, with QuickBooks Online Plus. There's recurring transactions too that would pick up unbilled activity, and we'll more on that in the recurring transaction video you'll find on QuickBooks University. Time tracking, if you have QuickBooks Online Plus, that's what you need for time tracking. And if you want to add a service field and even a customer field to timesheets to pass it through to an invoice, and then some miscellaneous stuff. So those are your company settings in QuickBooks Online.